What's going on, everyone? You know what time it is. Time for another out-of-this-world story from rSpace. My wife had a one-night stand, and I am torn. My 28 male wife, 26 female, had a drunken one-night stand last month, and I found out just Sunday. Now, we have been married not even a year, but have been together for 10 years. We have 2 children together, 6 and 2. I have asked all the details. I'll spare you them, but it was a completely random hookup, and there's been zero contact since. My wife had a good friend going through a separation in our hometown, and my wife and daughter went back for the weekend to console her. Long story short, the ladies got a sitter for the kids and went out for some drinks. Ended up leaving with a few guys they know to go to a hot tub. My wife ends up sleeping with one of them, and her friend another. Now, outside of her and her friend discussing possibly trying again the next night, and my wife reaching out to the man asking for discretion, there was never anything else said or done between them. Fast forward a month later, when she returned from the trip of the one-night stand, she had seemed a little off, but we've been working through some things. I'm not perfect, so I thought nothing of it. Well, last week, a dear friend of mine was in town, and we went together to see him and some other friends. Well, one night we ran into one of the guys who was there the night of the one-night stand. I noticed him gravitating towards my wife and sensed a smugness when he talked to me. Again, thought nothing of it. My wife is attractive and rather friendly when drunk. But for some reason, I couldn't shake this feeling. So I took the low road and read through her messages. I saw a message between her and her friend from the night at the bar about how the guy we ran into was making comments. I then searched back a little further and found all the evidence I needed to know from the night of the affair. I decided I couldn't sleep on it that night and confronted her after we put the kids to bed. I understand that going through her phone is wrong. Admittedly, I've done it before. And it's a source of one of our issues we've been working through. But I found what I feared. She had cheated and tried to cover it up. I'm broken. I'm confused. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm not sure entirely what I am. I feel ashamed and not good enough. Now, where it gets more complicated, we have sort of an open relationship. We have had many threesomes, and I have openly allowed her to pursue sex with other men as long as I'm involved. So I can't fathom why she needed this one-night stand. I'm sure some of my toxic behaviors contributed to pushing her to that edge, but I still can't believe she took the jump. Now we've spent most of the week just really diving in, and I've decided I want to stay. I'm not ready to not have my children every day, and I ultimately love her more than anything, and don't want to lose her. It just all feels so unfair and unreasonable. How do I begin to move forward allowing her to regain my trust and also working to better myself as to be a better husband? How do I begin to move forward and find a way to get past the shame I feel for wanting to try and work this out? Sorry this is a mess, and I hope to be able to reel it in more and have good discussions here. Alright, community, let's get a couple comments before we move on to the next story. Throw RA 2-day for yay thinks, are you trying to say your mistrust of her and looking at her phone and being paranoid led to her having an affair? Holy crap, you've been gaslighted into apologizing to her for the affair. She basically just lost all privacy privileges if you're really going to make this work. You're about to become hyper-paranoid because now she is an unsafe partner, and your anxiety will be triggered by any little thing she does that seems suspicious. She is the one that needs to change. Her honesty and ability to take responsibility for her actions is what is in question. Does she feel remorse? You need to provide consequences to make sure she understands that you don't accept what she's done, and that if it ever happens again, you will walk. She likely needs to not hang out with this friend anymore, as she helped her cover it up and make it happen. She is an enemy to your marriage. I think for the time being, you'll need to fully close your marriage as well. Fallen 1MS comes in with, dude, if all it takes is alcohol and 2 cute men, then she'll cheat on you every Friday during happy hour. What's to say she's not going to repeat this? It's a fundamental need for validation issue. What's her reason for this? She doesn't have the excuse of limerence or infatuation with the affair partner. The only drunken one-night stand I'd consider forgiving is one where the spouse confesses immediately. She's not remorseful. She was planning on cheating again. Secondly, how did she rationalize allowing someone else to disrespect and try to humiliate her husband in a public setting? She doesn't respect you herself. Is it an open marriage only on one side? File for divorce. You need to provide her with hard consequences for her actions. Divorce is a long, winding process and can be stopped any time before final decree. Don't stop unless she meets reconciliation guidelines. She is your truly rebellious child, and you're her doting but wishy-washy dad. Ground her. If the one night stand has a significant other or wife, your wife needs to inform her. She also needs to cut that friend of hers out of her life. She is an enemy of your marriage. If your wife had relationship issues, she could have solved them with a talk, couples counseling, serving you divorce papers. How does sleeping with someone else solve your relationship issues? You didn't push her to cheat. She did it herself. If relationship issues push people to cheat, then where's your affair? Right now, you have a crapload of relationship issues. Why aren't you stepping out on her? Open marriages don't work, bro. She'll catch feelings for some dude and monkey branch you before you can get a word in edgewise. You want to be her provider while she goes looking out for something better? Be my guest. One final thing. Past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. You have condoned your wife's cheating. She believes now that the consequences for cheating on you will be a week of crocodile tears and nothing else. She believes that if she'll cheat again, you'll just take her back. Thing is, will you be able to survive the next time she cheats? 'Cause it's coming, the way you're rug sweeping this one night stand. Next up, I, 32 male, suspect my wife, 32 female, is at the very least emotionally cheating on me. Should I confront her and try counseling or just get out? This might be longer than necessary, but I think context is important. About 10 years ago, my then girlfriend cheated on me. It was devastating to me at the time because I had basically no self-esteem. She was the only concrete thing I had to hold on to. The affair was off and on for 6 months, during which I did some things I am not proud of. Following her, hacking into her social media, etc. Eventually, she decided to move out of state to be with family, and the affair effectively ended. We began talking again, and I, maybe foolishly, got back together with her and moved out of state to be with her. I can honestly say the first 8 years after moving to be with her were some of the best of my life so far. I felt like we were closer and we could trust each other. We had occasional arguments, but nothing out of the ordinary for a long-term relationship. Crap started getting weird again last summer. I discovered some strange search histories on her iPad. Searches such as, why did he ghost me? How to sext? Why do guys sext? When I confronted her, she claimed her work husband sent her a sext and she just did some curious Googling. She claims to have turned him down, and I wanted to believe her because I honestly had not been suspicious of her at all in the last 10 years. A month later, I was still suspicious and eventually broke down and looked at her Facebook messages. She had messaged this work husband a lot. Nothing seemed to be going on between them, but she did claim to have had sex with some guy that was not me. This guy had no name, but he supposedly expressed his love for her after sex, and she was asking work husband for relationship advice. I don't think this mysterious lover exists, but why make up some story about your sexual escapades with a non-existent person? When confronted, she said it was for attention, and she has lied for attention in the past. Doesn't make what she did okay, but I wanted to work on things because I know she has self-esteem issues that probably led to this, and our relationship has been getting much better since. Then, this month, she took a sudden interest in a new multiplayer video game. Not suspicious on its own. She plays video games but generally plays them very casually without devoting a lot of time to learning one game. Suddenly, she needed to play this game upstairs in the bedroom with the doors closed when she usually plays games downstairs with me. When I asked why, she freaked out, got emotional, angry, was on the verge of tears. Said she just wanted space to herself and never gets alone time, and she does work a lot. That explanation would have been fair, but it was her emotional reaction that made me suspicious. To be fair, I made a jab that she was playing with her new boyfriend because I was paranoid. I expected her to be annoyed at my jab, but this was close to an emotional breakdown. While I have occasionally been paranoid because she has cheated on me before, I wasn't truly suspicious until the emotional outburst, which then made a lot of other things from the past 6 months seem more suspicious in hindsight. She deleted her Facebook to get off social media, but she is still constantly on her phone. It's mostly TikTok, but she has been spending a lot more time upstairs in the bedroom on her phone, taking pictures in the mirror. She says this is to boost her self-esteem and give her some me time. Totally understandable considering what I know about her struggles with image and self-esteem. But now it feels like she deleted Facebook so that somebody could not easily find out she was married to me. And maybe all those pictures aren't just for her self-esteem. She doesn't seem protective of her phone. I know the password. But there are a million ways to hide messages and dirty pictures. Snapchat comes to mind. There's just no way for me to know short of installing some sort of spyware on her phone, and I don't freaking have time for that. I did the stalking thing 10 years ago. Never again. If I feel the need to stalk, I am done. I don't care if she's screwing around. I don't need that mental anguish. She always sends me pictures when she stays at her sister's house to assure me she is there, when I didn't not think she was there. Like she suspects I'm suspicious when I'm not. And it seems she is now hiding her Steam friends list when she wasn't previously. Probably would never have noticed if it wasn't for her emotional reaction that made me check. After that wall of text, what I'm ultimately asking is, should I confront her with the paltry amount of evidence I have, or just tell her I think we're done? Part of me wants her to just admit to something going on and to try to work through it in counseling. The other part of me is screaming, "Run the F away! You did this already!" The part that wants to run away doesn't even want to have the conversation about a possible affair. I just want to say, we grew apart. Enjoy the rest of your life. Any recommendations? If it's one thing I know, the community always has advice. Good or bad. So let's see what they have to say. Old Guy 6060 thinks, cheaters will always cheat, and will never stop cheating. She is no different from any other cheater, and has probably been cheating on you through your whole marriage. The only way to have your partner not cheat is to leave the person who cheats on you and find a partner that has a better set of morals. You do not need a paltry amount of evidence. You need to sack up and just leave. You are still young and can start over again by finding a woman who will want you for you and will not want to F around on you. Call a lawyer tomorrow. Cranach thinks, she lied to you, kept things to herself that affected your relationship or marriage, and entertained her work husband on a level that is beyond a working relationship. Especially the part where she told him about the other guy she had sex with would make me walk away. She either had sex with someone else and thought about leaving you for him, or made that story up to get a reaction from her work husband that wants to sext with her. That would also not be good for your relationship. Think about this. Why should she Google, "Why did he ghost me?" if her work husband wanted to sex with her? I don't think that her work husband ghosted her, right? From my perspective, there is a lot of things she did and that you have no idea about. The only recommendation I can give is to think about if that is the behavior of the woman you want to grow old with or not. You voiced more than enough about the behavior of her, and she hasn't changed anything about it. You need to make a decision about you. Shinjuku Dreaming thinks, I'm going to skip past the advice on how you can find out the truth. You're an adult, and you know that if you wanted, you can find out for sure what's going on. You have the means, and you might come to the point where knowing is more important. So you pull the trigger and do it. You don't need my help on that. What I want to talk to you about is the two ways this can play out. If she is emotionally cheating, then you leave her. Obviously, you can't stay with a repeat cheater. She belongs to the streets, and there's absolutely no chance in hell you should be wasting another decade of your life on her. You're at the prime of your life right now, mature, earning, and capable. Don't waste it on a pig. If she isn't emotionally cheating, are you sure you still want to stay with her? You know there are women out there that are fully trustworthy, right? You can have a romance where cheating and betrayal and distrust never ruined things.